All right. So, after messing around and really trying to build something with Codex, listen, I'm not a programmer. I'm a I'm a creative person. I like to make music. I like to make art. I like to make stuff, right? And I felt like, you know, when it comes to this whole programming stuff, you know, I know there's something there that resonates with me. And because at the end of the day, though, that I do see the art and beauty with like programming. Um, but and this kind of goes and connects with the idea that programmers can never really be erased. The career can really change. The issue is that the end users, the people that are asking you, if you're a programmer to build something, they just have no idea what they want, right? And I start to realize that with myself. Like, they say they want something, they think they want something, but they really want something else. So for me, bro, I started my game development journey, I think in October, right? Just because, one, you know, it's a game of cat and mouse and trying to steer the AI model in the direction you want. But then if you don't have the vocabulary and you're filled with unknown unknowns, you don't know what the issues are, and you have to figure out the issues. You have to start figuring out, yo, why isn't this software scaling? Like, you spent an hour and you moved an inch, or why is all the context being used up? You know what I mean? And if you start with nothing, it's so addictive. You feel like you're making progress. But once you're trying to create a final product that you're proud to show with the world, the tech debt and the issues with AI really starts to show it. Like, I don't know what I'm building. Like, I have no clear objective. I'm just building stuff, right? Because that's how I make art. That's how I make music. And that's really troublesome for AI because it starts doing and assuming things, right? And a lot of these advice I get is like, you got a plan, you got a spec, blah 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 blah. And I'm like, well, this only applies and makes sense in context of like, you're making a product for someone, or you really have an end result in mind, right? I don't know what the fuck I'm building, right? And so originally I thought I wanted to build like a game, and then eventually I started thinking, oh, I think I want to build a game generator, right? But now I'm really sitting down and I'm starting to realize what I really want to build is just a game engine, right? Um, yeah, but then trying to build the game engine and also the game on top, it gets too sloppy for AI, and it really starts to fuck shit up. You know what I mean? Like, I started to realize like, oh, maybe I should have just built the game engine and then build the game with the game engine, right? Have it have like an IDE or something. The reason I say that is because I don't want AI to fucking touch the game engine itself. I don't want game specific logic touching the fucking game engine. Right. The game is grounded in the reality of the game world that you also made up. But this makes things very tricky, right? Because you have to be on top of that. And to leave AI over that makes it very challenging, very annoying, and very cumbersome. Why? Because it's not really objective. I think with these AI models, they're really good at having concrete visions and goals. If you create like an app, like a notepad or something, that is really objective. You know what I mean? It's you input strings and then it saves the strings. There's like CRUD operations, whatever, right? But in games, it's not that simple. A lot of the stuff is very crazy, and then I find that it's using a lot of fucking context. And then if I'm not telling it, it's naming shit, and now the whole reality of the game world is incoherent, right? So yeah, I sort of realized that, hey, I actually really wanted to build a game engine the entire time and not really a game, because I think I do want to build a game, but the thing with building a game, you kind of need to be on top of the ownership. You have to steer the ship. Let's like at all times, AI shouldn't be steering the ship. Hell, you shouldn't even be asking AI for advice. I listen. One thing I realize is I start to notice more bullshit. Or if you have come up with ideas, just keep track, because chances are there's gonna be a bunch of patterns. All your game ideas are probably more similar than they are different, right? All in all, you are gonna have certain qualities that all your games will possess, right? Any type of idea. That's if you are coming up with games as a creative and not as someone that says this is what works, let's try if we make money. Sure, that can work, but I'm talking about people that are really like an artist. Chances are every single one of your idea has an associated pattern. There's probably a bunch of meta patterns across all your games, and with those associated meta patterns, right, you should just be building a reusable library, right? So my game engine, for like baseline, I need something closer to like RPG Maker, right? Why? Because all my games are like RPGs, right? Or all my games have like not necessarily like a gacha system, but like a rarity system, right? So I have all these things that they are over and over, repeating over and over and over again. You know what I mean? And there's absolutely no reason for me to be re-implementing all this shit over and over and over again. So that's where my solution is just I'm just gonna go build a game engine and then build the damn game myself, right? Because at least with the game engine, I feel like I don't know, bro. I'm talking about on my ass. I'm talking real time. But the other thing I would say though is I did decide I'm just gonna sit down and learn Defold. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I tried Godot. I sort of realized by trying to vibe code and also trying to understand the code it's producing, shit gets too messy and gets too overwhelming. And I admit that game engine has a lot of mental load taken off, right, for the developers so they can focus on making that game. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna commit to it. It's not perfect, but fuck it though. It's not perfect. And to that I say, personally, I think like completely vibe coding a game, don't bother with that, man. I think that's a dead end as of right now. Don't bother with that unless, and the approach you should really be having is more of like a scripting approach. Like if you're taking a vibe coding approach as in terms of like scripting, that's a lot better, because remember, you have to be on top of like the ownership. You have to be the captain of the ship. And at least if you're like localizing the code, the AI models, right, it's at least localized to a script instead of who knows what, bro. Like it gets gross, man. Like it doesn't like, in my experience, it hasn't respected boundaries and whatnot. But it's also my fault though, because I didn't sit down and write that shit out, because that's not fun, bro. Like that's not fun. And if I'm really gonna sit, and in my opinion, if I'm really gonna sit down and take the advice, right, that these people give about using agentic workflows, you think you're gonna be like a composer orchestrating stuff. Maybe once you already have the domain knowledge, the people doing that already went through they went through the grind. They already know how to program. They already know how to conduct. But if you're a regular ass person, man, I think it's a waste of time, man. You're gonna end up with some strange shit unless you really know what you're gonna do and you're really reading everything over everything, right? There's too much control. Like I'm gonna be honest, like you should be minimizing the control the AI model has over the project, and that's why I would recommend just stick to scripting, because at least if you're scripting, you use the game engine's UI to like build stuff, right? Like you say, do this, okay, I created this sprite. Let's say it's Godot. You took a sprite. You gave it some stuff. You gave it a, you took a sprite. You gave it a collision model, and now you're deciding the behavior of that AI, right? See, AI model, I think that's great, right? It's not gonna touch the rest of the shit. Um, and especially once context is low, it's gonna do some stupid shit. Those hallucinations will really fuck your shit up. So if it's super localized, sure, but I think I rambled on for enough. Bye.